Well, I first started in, I suppose, would it be 1939. I was 6 years old, and my father worked in the freezing works at Otahu, and he'd played rugby league up into trials for New Zealand standards, and a bloke came and saw him and asked him would he come and help coach a team, and he said no, he was working shift work, couldn't do that, but as a joke he said, you can have my son, who was me, and I was 6. So they started a 7-a-side team with Otahu, and we played half-time at Carlisle Park during all the senior games and things like that. Played 53 games for New Zealand, and I played 18 tests. And of course the number of games I played was because I toured England and France twice and Australia once. So we played a lot of club teams, and so that, but not many test matches in those days. When I first instigated this museum, I got some old papers and boxes of papers from a rugby league friend of mine who I played golf with, and a bloke called Trevor Berry, who did commentating at Carlisle Park and other places, and he wrote newspaper clippings. And he gave his wife, eventually when he died, gave me these cartons of things, and I was looking at these, and you'll see over here a photograph. It was a postcard size photograph of the 1911 Kiwi team. It was autographed, and it somehow or other it struck a chord with me, and I thought we've got to do something about this. We've got to archive it at least. This is what we've ended up with, and I'm delighted and pleased and proud of it. Obviously the most important part is the original contract from the Orgols, and when they first started and they went on their tour to England and Australia, the man that there's a photograph of him beside it that first went, Mr. Baskerville, who first thought of rugby league in New Zealand, and beside that is the turnstile that goes with Carlisle Park, where everybody went through those turnstiles and paid their sixpence or whatever it was, and then next to it is the white picket fence, pieces of it, and the seats from the grandstand.
That were thrown out a lot of Aussie players?
Yeah, some of the, well, we used to like to try and throw the Aussie players into the picket fence. So they're special memories for us. And then, of course, the World Cup up here, which I suppose should perhaps take pride of place in some people's minds, because it's the crest and the ultimate of rugby league football.
Right in front of us here, we've got a guitar, mate. What's that got to do with rugby league?
Well, that's part of 1961 tour of England and France, and we bought it when we arrived in England. As you know, the indigenous people of New Zealand, the Maoris, great singers.
One of the great